What's up, y'all? I've got this eyeshadow look for you today. This one is incredibly simple, no cutting the crease, and I'm gonna walk you through it and tell you exactly how I did it and keep it really simplistic for you. I promise you can do it. I'm mixing P. Louise base 0 and 0.5. The main thing is you want a really tacky base and you do not want to set it with eyeshadow. So you want it to have kind of like a wet, tacky feel to it when you put the shadows on. I'm using the Berries by Juvia's Place, and I'm gonna start with this really deep kind of wine shade. You want to get a good amount on your brush, and all I'm going to do right now is just pack it into the shape that I want. Honestly, if you have a hooded eye, just absolutely ignore where it naturally creases. That's what I do. So I always go above the natural crease so that when I have my eye open, you can still see that shadow, and I'm gonna blend more shadow, so just going a little bit above the crease. Here's my starting shape. I like to have my eyeshadow kind of elongate the eye. That's just personal preference. You could totally leave it a bit more rounded here if you wanted to. This is more of a berry, so I'm just gonna blend out the edges with this. I always start by just packing the color where I want it, and then I will blend. Now I'm gonna take the pink shade and once again just packing around the edges and then blending. Something that I almost always do off camera is go back and forth between my brushes and colors to get the right blend. So I'm gonna go back one brush into the deeper color until I get the color and blend that I'm really looking for. If your edges are not blending exactly the way that you like, grab a clean brush and just diffuse the very edge of your shadow. Another one of my favorite tips, if you happen to be using P. Louise base or a similar product, then you can take a little bit more of that product, and say that I blended it a little bit too high right here. You could totally just take a little bit of base and pat it with your finger, and it will literally diffuse the color and give you a little bit more room to work with. And then you can just blend a tad more. And one of my favorite glitters to work with are from With Love Cosmetics. So these, you don't need a base, you really don't need anything with it. I'm just going to take some with my finger. As you can see, it's really picking up the product, and just pack it exactly where I want it. You don't have to, but I'm just diffusing the edge of the glitter. For the lower lash line, just taking the matte shades from darkest to lightest. Over a Pillow Talk in the inner corner. BH Power Pencil in Beige is forever my favorite in the waterline to brighten. All right, here's the finished look. It's a colorful, easy, glittery glam. You could obviously do this with neutral colors. You could switch up the shape a little bit, but really everything is the same. You just want a tacky base, dark to light shades, blending, and when you're using this type of a glitter, you don't have to cut the crease or anything, and I think it turned out really pretty. Let me know what you think.